Sahanau bhunaktu sahaviryam karavavahai tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Okay, we have to look into the 10th verse. Okay. From now on, we will have some story sessions. Okay. Tavaishwaryam yadnat yadupari virinchir hariradha parichetum yatau. I am breaking the sandhi there. Okay. Anila manalaskanda vapushaha tato bhakti shraddha baraguru grinadbhyam girishayat baraguru grinadbhyam girishayat swayam taste tabhyam tava kimanuvrittir na palati. See, in many subhashitams, like an example or something will be told, and then finally a generalization will be made at the end. Like this you will be finding at every level. Already we saw, for example, in the 8th shloka, so we saw that after the first 3 lines, Nahi swatma ramam vishaya mrigatrishna pramayati, a general statement. So, which is applicable to Shiva and people like that. So, like this, you will be finding some statements here. Okay. Now, this verse is about the story of Tiruvannamalai. Okay. So, you have got in this Purana story. So, it is said that Vishnu and Brahma had an argument among themselves. Now, all these stories, while you don't dismiss it totally, you should take it with a pinch of salt. Because what is being conveyed is what is more important. Okay. So, they had an argument among themselves as to who is greater. So, each one said, I am greater than you, I am greater than you, I am important. So, to end this dispute, it is said that Lord Shiva appeared like a big column of fire. So, in front of them. So, they were mesmerized by this column of fire and they stopped arguing. So, temporarily they stopped the fight and then they started telling, let us find out what is this fire and let us see from where it starts and where it ends, etc. So, now they united together. Okay. So, then it was decided that Brahmaji will take the form of a swan and fly above and try to find the top of that column. Okay. And Vishnu will take the form of a boar, Varaha, boar, wild boar, and then he will go digging right into the ground to see where is the bottom of this. So, Brahmaji flew higher and higher and higher, but really could not locate where the top was, where it ended. In between there is another story that is not important for us. Okay. Then Vishnu also went lower and lower and then he could not also find out the bottom. So both of them being unable to find the top and bottom, so sort of gave up their ego, and they thought what has appeared in front of us like this column of fire must be something great. Okay, let us stop our argument and let us give up our ego. And then they with great devotion and great Shraddha. Then they sort of prayed. And then Shiva revealed himself as that I am the column of fire. So, and he blessed them and revealed who he was. So when you go to Shiva temples, you will find in the Sanctum Sanctorum there will be a Shivalinga. Just right behind that Shivalinga, when you go around the Sanctum Sanctorum, when you go around outside that wall, right at the back, you will find that the Lingodbhava is there. I don't know whether in the Rishikesh ashram also they have put it there, I'm not sure. So you will find that there is one, this sort of like a flame-shaped thing that will be there. Konja sound korengla ekor. So it will be like this, and within that you will see like a Shivalinga, and then on top you will see a small swan. Especially if the sculpture is reasonably big enough and good, you will see a swan above and a boar below. And it's called Lingodbhava Murti. So this is the story. And this is said to have happened in Tiruvannamalai. It is Arunachala. It is supposed to be also the kshetram for Agni. Okay. Now let's go to the shloka. In the Ramakrishna Math book, if anybody is following that book, it is instead of Virinchi, Virinchaha is there. So just Pataveda is there. Girisha, there is a word Girisha in the third line. Okay. Now there are two different names which occur in the Shiva Stotram. One is Girishaya Namaha, another one is Girishaya Namaha. So they have both the words have different meanings. So Girisha means Giraushete iti Girishaha. The one who resides in the mountain. Okay. So he is called Girisha. Girisha is Giri plus Isha. It means the one who is the lord of the mountain. Okay. So you have two words, but here we have got Girisha. So the one who resides in the mountain. Also it can have a meaning, the one who resides, who is available as the essence of the words of the Veda. So, Analaskanda Vapushaha Tava Yad Aishwaryam. Okay. So, Anala means fire. So, Anala, fire. Fire is called Anala because fire doesn't know how to say alam enough. Any amount of fuel you put in it, it will come further up and ask, give me more, give me more. So it doesn't have the word alam enough in its dictionary, therefore it is called anala. Then skanda generally means a column. That is the trunk of the tree is called skanda. Anala skanda, vapus, the one whose form, vapuhu generally means body, but here means form. So anala skanda vapushaha. Tava yad aishwaryam. So that glory, that greatness of yours, which took the vapus form of a column or pillar of fire. Tat parichetum yatnat. So to parichetum means to measure. So the word is used both in the meaning of limiting and also in the meaning of measuring. Supposing you are measuring something. So this particular this particular book stand is only, it measures only say about 1 foot by 10 inches. That means it's only 1 foot. It is not more than 1 foot. So that means the limit is 1 foot. It is not anymore. It is this side it is about 10 inches, so not anymore. So that means that it is limited to 1 foot by 10 inches, not anything more. So that is why the word parichit means also to, not parikshit, parichid means to measure, to limit, both meanings are there. So wanting to measure, decipher what that column of fire was, virinchihi uparicha Vishnu Adahacha Yayau. So Virinchi means, Virinchi is the name of Brahmaji. So Virinchi Upari, he went above. And Vishnu Adaha Yayau. So, so both of them, one went up and one went down to find out. Of course, that day, that Brahmaji went in the form of a swan and then Vishnu went in the form of a boar, that is not told here. And so one went up and one went down, but still, parichetum analam. So there are two words, analam, then anala. If you look at this thing, yatau analam, analaskanda vapushaha. That's how you have to split the word. So here the word means, analam means, they found they were not, their effort or their capacity was not adequate to measure and decipher what exactly that column is and what is the top and bottom. So parichetum analam asamartau, they were unable to decipher, find out what exactly it is. Then tataha, so thereafter, therefore, what did they do? Bhakti Shraddha Bara Guru Grinadbhyam Tabhyam. So these two people, they with great devotion and with the Shraddha that this should be some being that is much greater than us, and therefore with a devotion, with humility, they praised you. Grinadbhyam means they praised you. So highly that Shraddha, Guru, Shraddha Bhara Guru is there. So endowed with great, highly endowed with great Shraddha and Bhakti. So Shraddha, mentally they had that belief, and Bhakti also physically showing their humility. Grinadbhyam, orally trying to praise you. To those two people, Tabhyam, Yat Swayam Taste. So, Yat refers to Yasmat, because you revealed yourself of your own accord, seeing their Shraddha and Bhakti, and their also praising you, Stuti. So, seeing their effort to humbly find out what this is. So, you yourself revealed yourself, Swayam Prataste, you appeared right in front of them. Ataha, therefore, Kim tava anuvrittihi na palati. So that is a general statement. So again it's a rhetoric question. So does not following you, tava anuvrittihi, na kim na palati, does not following you, serving and worshipping you, does it not bear fruit? Does it not fructify, give results? So rhetoric question means, yes, if somebody sincerely follows you, somebody serves and surrenders to you, definitely that act of theirs will become fruitful. Now a question may arise. If they could not fathom Shiva's greatness, how did they praise him? So praise can be also in this way. You are so great that we cannot fathom your greatness. That itself is a praise. Okay. So the acceptance itself becomes a praise and surrender. Therefore, Bhagavan revealed himself when we are humble and seek him with humility. Bhagavan himself reveals himself. That is the generalization Pushpadanta makes at this juncture. So this is a very famous story in our Puranas. Then again you are going to have another story. Now this is a story of Ravana. So, ayatnadapadya tribhuvanamavai, sorry, tribhuvanamavaikyat, tribhuvanavairavyattikaram dashasyo yadbhahun abhritaranakandhu paravashat shirav padma shreni rachita charanambo ruhabale sthirayastvadbhaktehe tripurahara vispurjitamidam. So Tripurahara, again he seems to be fond of this. So a Tripurahara, the one who, the destroyer of the three Puras and the Asuras in charge of them. Dashasyaha, the one who has got 10 heads. So Dasha Asyani Yasyasaha, the one who has got 10 heads, that is the 10-headed Ravana. Ayatnat Apadya, without much effort on his part, he having gained. Apadya, having gained. Okay, Ayatnat, actually, that A is a negating particle. When you say Ayatna, it does that A, the negating particle that you put there, it can be in the form of total absence, or it can be in the form of small quantity, or it can be the opposite meaning also can be there. So here alpate nanya, those who are interested. So that means the effort that he put in was very minimal. Okay. So having gained without putting in much effort, gained what? Tribhuvanam, all the three worlds. That is this world and the worlds above, the Swarga, etc., and the worlds below, Pathala. Okay. And what sort of three worlds did he get? Avaira Vyatikaram. All these three worlds without much effort on his part. So because there was nobody who was ready to strike or fight against him. See, supposing somebody goes, try another state or another country, somebody goes to attack that state. If they don't put up any resistance, and they just look at this army and just say, no, leave us alone, we sort of surrender to you, and they are not ready to oppose and take action. So that means this fellow doesn't have any, this particular country doesn't have any effort to put in. All that small effort, it went to attack, that's all. The other country doesn't put up any resistance, then without any effort, it just conquers the other one. Similarly, that's what happened to Ravana, because he was so powerful with all the boons that he had got from Shiva. So wherever he went to conquer, you find that he went to Swargaloka, Indra just gave up his place and said, okay, you take over. So like this, everywhere they said take over. So Avaira, without any enemy taking any action, not ready to strike or fight against him. So he gained mastery over all the three worlds without any opposition, without any resistance. Then what happened now? So sometimes, what happened? People, somebody who is a big dada, and then wherever he goes and sort of threatens people, they say, no, whatever you want, we will give. Then those persons, they get an itching to go and taunt more and more people. So it's like an itching. So itching means the moment it itches you, you want automatically to take up an action of scratching, doing something. So sometimes we say, I am itching to do something. In English, we use this means I want frantically to do something. So he had Ranakandu Paravashat. So that Kandu means this itching. So he, because he was under the influence of this itching for battle with somebody or the other, I wanted to challenge everybody. So what he did was Bahun Abrita. So Paravashan Bahun Abrita. He had, see, normally people have two arms because he is Dashasya. Therefore he had 20 arms. Okay. So all his arms, bhuja, all his bahu was sort of itching. So he carried these 20 arms which were itching, which were badly itching to go and seek fighting with somebody or the other to show off their strength. So this fact that he was bold enough to go and challenge any and everybody means he should have so much of pride, confidence about his own strength that nobody can stand against him. So iti yat idam, this fact is because tvat bhaktehe vispurjitam. So it is because of the glory, the manifestation, the result of devotion to you. Tvad bhaktehe vispurjitam. It only shows that it is only, this is possible for Ravana because he had great bhakti devotion to you. And what sort of bhakti devotion did he have? Sthirayaha bhaktehe, because he had a staunch, firm devotion to you. And his devotion to you was so much that he was ready to give bali. Bali means an offering. Okay. Bali doesn't necessarily mean animal sacrifice or something. Bali means offering. See, in the morning puja you see that behind the Nandi there is a small round this thing. That's called Bali Pitam. So daily some rice is kept there. Okay. So that is a place for offering. Bali means offering. Okay. Then so you have to add some word to indicate what sort of offering you are going to do. So what is Bali that Ravana was ready to offer because of his devotion? Shiraf Padma Shreni Rachita Charanamboruha Palehe. Okay, so long compound. It's one whole compound. This is. So his offering Rachitaha Balihi. His offering was made up of this. Made up of what? Okay. So Tava Charanamboruhayoho. So that Bali, that offering was placed at your lotus feet. Ambas means water. Amboruha means that which grows in the water. And so it indicates, generally, it indicates a lotus. Though so many things can grow in water, but still generally, Jalaja, Amboruha, all these words indicate lotus. So Charana Amboruha, at your lotus feet. And what was this Bali? How was this Bali made, this offering? Shiraf Padma Shreni. So his 10 heads itself was made into a garland. So he was ready to cut off his 10 heads and offer it like a mala at the feet of Shiva. So his bhakti was so strong. So because of the devotion in which the very row of his heads were placed as an offering at the lotus feet of Lord Shiva. So this is to show that Ravana's bhakti to Shiva was so great that he was ready even to offer his own heads at Bhagavan Shiva's feet. Of course, in all these stories, you have to add on. Even if he cut his heads, because of his devotion, he got back his heads. Okay, otherwise he is not there to receive any boon. He himself will not be there. So we have to supply the in between that because of that he was ready to make such a sacrifice and therefore Bhagavan blessed him back with the heads. Okay. So he was blessed, and that is why with so much of strength that he all the time he was wanting to show off his strength and then wanting to what shall I say, challenge any and everyone for a battle. In fact, the story goes that he went and challenged Vali, Sugriva's brother Vali. And Vali was such a powerful person. So he wanted to, where can I go and find Vali to go and challenge him? And it is said that Vali was so powerful and he used to do his Sandhyavandanam. That is, he will start his Sandhyavandanam in in the one sea shore. And so India is like this. So from one seashore, he will jump to the other seashore and then to the other seashore, and he can jump like that and then do his Sandhyavandanam. And Ravana went to challenge him for a battle. So Vali continued his Sandhyavandanam. He stretched his tail and just wound Ravana in his tail. So from one shore he is jumping with the tail, and then Ravana got hit. And again when he is jumping to the other one, it is hit. So it's a sort of story that is there. Okay. So such was the now the Vali story, leave it. So the Vali story is only to show that the itching he had to challenge everyone for a fight. So his devotion was so great that he was ready to offer his heads, and because of that devotion, that he was confident about his strength, that he could go and challenge any and everybody, and also get what he wanted without the other person being ready to oppose the challenge. Okay. So that is the greatness of Shiva's bhakti. But then the next shloka is going to be something connected to Ravana, but from a different angle. Okay. Now the devotion itself. Now because of the devotion, this person got so much of power that he was ready to, when there was no necessity, he was ready to go and challenge any and everybody and try to put them down. So he started getting more and more arrogant. Then he said, my devotion to Ishvara is so great, and therefore Bhagavan will do anything for me. Okay? And I can do anything to Bhagavan because I can take any liberty with Bhagavan. He took Bhagavan Shiva for granted, thinking that with my great bhakti, Lord will do anything that I ask for me, and I can do anything with reference to the Lord. Okay? I can take any liberty. So, so now regarding what happened to him, because he became arrogant even with reference to Lord Shiva, that is being told in the next shloka. Amushyatvat seva samadhigata saram bhujavanam bhalat kailasepi tvadadivasatau vikramayatah alabhya patalepi alas chalitangushta shirasi pratishta tvayasit dhruvam upachito mohyati khalah. Okay, you have to supply the word He Hara or He Shiva. So, Shiva, Tvad Adivasatau Kailase Api. Okay. So, Adivasati means the dwelling place. So, where this person is supposed to reside. So, Tvad Adivasatau Kailase Api. Even in Kailasa, which is your dwelling place. Bhujavanam Vikramayataha Ravanasya. So Ravana was trying to show his Vikrama, trying to show his valor. So with with his Bhujavanam, he calls it Vanam, forest of arms, because 20 arms were there. So Bhujavanam Vikramayata, he tried to show off his valor through the 20 arms. So obviously, Ravana could invoke 10 heads and 20 arms at will when necessary. Not that all the time he was there with 20 heads and 20 arms. At will he can invoke 10 heads and 20 arms. The rest of the time he was there with 1 head and 2 arms. Okay. So, so for what he wanted to do, he wanted the strength of all the arms. So, Tvat Seva Samadhigata Saram. So, with that Bhujavanam, that forest of arms, that is, that multitude of arms, that got their Saram, strength. So, Samadhigata Saram, that got its strength, Tvat Seva, by serving you. So, by serving you, this multitude of arms, which is like a forest of arms, that got its strength. Samadhigatam means it got its strength by how? Tvat seva, through Tvat sevaya, because of serving you with devotion. Then what did he try to do? So balat. So with forcibly, with this idea, forcibly balat vikramayataha. Forcibly he was trying to show off the valor, the strength of his arms towards Kailasa also. Idam utpadya lankam neshyami iti abhiprayena, he says. So what will I do? I will just uproot this Kailasa, mountain Kailasa, along with Shiva, and I'll take it to Lankapuri. Okay. So naturally what happened? Because daily I need not come from Lanka to Kailasa to worship him. I will keep it next to my palace. I will just uproot it with Shiva and then take it and then put it there. So then naturally daily Lord will be there so close to me. So I can anytime go and worship him. Like this he took the Lord for granted. Now he started with the strength of his arms, he started trying to lift the Kailasa mountain. Then when he started to lift this Kailasa mountain, it started shaking. When it started shaking, certain things are not there in the shloka, so the story I had to bring it. So the Kailasa started with all the force, balat, when he was trying to lift it up, it started shaking. So Parvati got frightened and held on to Shiva tightly. Shiva just thought over and then realized what was the problem. So what did Shiva do? So he got a little irritated. But then without any effort, he pressed the tip of his big toe, one big toe, just down. He pushed the mountain down. And then Ravana got caught under it with all his 20 shoulders and 20 arms. He got caught. So, Tvayi alasa chakita angushta shirasi sati. So, angushta shiras. Angushta means big toe. And angushta shiras means the head of the big toe, meaning the tip of the big toe. And then so alasa means lazy. That is, lazily means effortlessly. So effortlessly, chakita means chalitam. So what he did, he just moved the big toe, and then he just pressed with the tip of the big toe. Okay, so when you did that particular thing, amushya ravanasya patale api pratishta alabhya asit. So when he pressed that Kailasa mountain, then that you imagine yourself pressing just with one big toe, this floor, nothing happens to it. But then Shiva's strength was so much that along with the Kailasa mountain actually, Ravana was pushed down and down. Then remember, 7 down is there, not only 7 up, 7 down is here. So he had to, so he was pushed through Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Tala, Tala, Mahatala, Rasatala, Patala, up to Patala Loka. So he was pushed down. Even in that Patala, he could not get a place to rest. So, the Patale api pratishta alabhya asit. He could not even get a place to rest, even in that Patala, which is the seventh, this thing below this earth. Okay. But now, he was a great bhakta. Then why did he do such a thing? So, yat prasadat prapta palaha tameva bhagavantam katam smisrutavan. Because of whose grace he got all this power, how did he forget about the Lord? Why did he not ask for permission? There are some people who take for granted. Okay? So, I am so great that everybody has to listen to what I say. So they think they are doing a great favor for somebody, and then say, for example, suddenly somebody comes, Puja Swamiji is there, suddenly somebody comes, I've already bought a big house for you in Chennai, so you should come and reside in Chennai, you should leave this Coimbatore and come. So what will happen? If somebody should say, that person say, I'll build a bigger ashram for you in Chennai, without asking Swamiji. So supposing somebody says like that. So your capacity to do something, you should ask a person who is greater than you whether they are ready to accept what you are saying. So you should not cause a problem for the other person. So, but what happened? He got so arrogant that because of my devotion, all that I have to do is I have got the strength. Therefore, I will just lift Kailasa and then just bring him here to this thing. So that is not possible. So now the generalization he does as an answer to that question. Upachitaha kalaha. Kalaha means a foolish, wicked person. Who is upachitaha, so who is dhanadi samruddhaya vriddhim kataha. One who is actually ego is puffed up with all the prosperity and the strength, everything that he has got. Because of what? Because of the grace of somebody else here. Now kritagnaha san, because becoming ungrateful, such a person, so he gets, his ego gets bloated up, forgetting who gave all these things. And then such a person dhruvam muhyati. So the moment this person's ego gets bloated up and he forgets from whom he got it, then naturally that person gets, because of that arrogance, soon gets deluded because of the power that he has, and forgets what he is doing. He thinks that his strength can achieve anything, but that is not possible. In Tamil we have got a word. See, the axe is made, so you have got the iron bit, and then you have got also there is a wooden handle there which is introduced there. Two ways you can take it. So actually the axe is sharpened sometimes on a big, thick, what shall I say, tree. A bit of a tree. You can say that, okay, from the tree actually the handle was done. So the tree from which it got its handle, or in the tree in which it was sharpened, now with you try to see the sharpness of the tree, of the axe, or that very tree on which you sharpened it. Now you want to see the sharpness of the axe on that. So in Tamil you say, Pattai Teetiya Marathiye Vetta Paakrat. So that is what he was trying to do. So all the greatness that he got was from Shiva, and he now tries to show his greatness even to Shiva. Okay. So even today, you can see in many of the Shiva temples, so they'll have something called a Brahmotsavam. Annually, there will be series of functions that will be there. And one day, they'll have what is called Kailasa Vahana. And there will be on which Lord Shiva's image will be placed, and then it will come down, it will go around the streets in procession around the temple. So in that there will be a mountain-like thing, and under that you will see Ravana carrying that mountain, and on top of it Shiva will be sitting. So even if it doesn't come in procession, in some big temples, when you go around, there will be one hall where they would have placed all the vahanas on which it will go in procession. Then you can see. If you make it a point to go and see that one, make it a point to go and see Lingodbhava Murti when you go to Shiva temples. So when we go to a Mahan or when we go to the Lord, so we have to go first, we have to go there and humbly to the Lord and go for darshanam there. So we cannot ask a Mahan to come at beck and call, I want you tomorrow to come to my house. And okay, I am going to offer, or I've invited so many people and I want you to come for Bhiksha. So that is not a thing. That is why there is also this thing that they say whenever a temple is to be built, a single person may have all the money that with them for building a particular temple. But they say no temple should be a one-man's affair. It always, you should take some little money or something from everybody else, so that tomorrow you don't think, I built this temple for the Lord, and therefore this is my temple. One should not think. That's why everybody's contribution should be there, so that nobody builds an ego, that I built the temple for the Lord and I own the Lord. That should not be there. Okay. And also, the temple is also registered in the, I told the other day also, it is registered in the name of the Lord. Okay. And then of course the trustee will, any local affairs will be conducted by the trustees. Okay. Now this next shloka is again based on a story about a Shiva Bhakta called Bhana. He was an Asura. So he was called Bhanasura. Okay. Now even though he was an Asura, so he was a great Bhakta of Shiva. So he ruled from his capital called Shonitapuri. He had done great tapas towards Lord Shiva, and he had asked, when Shiva appeared, he asked to be accepted as a son of Parvati, and that Shiva should always protect his capital. Okay. And Shiva had given that boon. In fact, Shiva is called Ashutoshi. So with a little devotion itself, Shiva will always be pleased, and then he will just grant the boon. So Shiva agreed. Okay. So with these two boons, with this two-classed boon, and with all his strength, then he conquered the Devaloka and dethroned Indra also. And then we'll look further into the story. So first portion we'll see. I have to read the shloka. Yadridhim sutramnaha Yadridhim sutramnaha Varada paramochairapi satim Adhaschakre bhanaha Parijana videya tribhuvanaha na tachitram tasmin varivasitaritva न कस्याप्युन्नत्यै भवति शिरसस्त्वय्यवनतिः. Okay, what I told you up to now is that much is enough actually for this shloka, but I'll continue also a bit of this story. Okay. So he calls him He Varadha, O Shiva, who is a bestower of boons. Banaha, this Banasura, Parijana Videya Tribhuvanaha. So the one who had conquered all the three worlds and made the residents of the three worlds his Parijana, his servants. So he made them all subservient to him. Indra, Chandra, everybody in all other worlds, etc. also, he made them Parijana, means he made them his servants under his control, subservient to him. And Sutraman means actually, it refers to Indra. So Sushtu Trayate Bhuvanam iti Su plus Tra dhatu, but man in Pratyaya. So Sutraman and then Sutramna will be the Shashti. So the Indra is called Sutraman because he's supposed to be the protector of the world. Okay. Then this Bana, so he had a great, the Indra had great prosperity and leadership. So that is called Riddhi here. And Sutramnaha Riddhim Adas Chakre. So he just, that is, he pushed down. He conquered Indra and Indraloka, and in this way, Adas Chakre means he made the prosperity of Indra, he took away the prosperity of Indra from him and made it lower than what it was previously. And Paramot, what sort of a Riddhi did Indra have? Paramotchaihi Satimapi Riddhi. Previously, before Banasura went and attacked, it was at its peak, at great heights, Ucha, it was there. But now, so Indra was Adhipati of Devaloka. Okay. By taking the Devaloka from Indra, now Bana had become the lord of the three worlds, and Indra's fame, Indra's prosperity, everything went down. This iti yat, this fact, such a fact, tat na chitram. It is not a wonder at all. Okay, that the feat of FEAT, the feat of Bhanasura becoming the lord of the three worlds. Okay, that is, it is not really such a great wonder. Normally it's a wonder. Normally that somebody is able to dethrone even Indra and then become the lord of the three worlds is a wonder. But in the case of Banasura, he says that is not chitram, it is not a wonder. Why? Why it is not a wonder? Because it is expected. What is not expected only is a wonder. What is expected is not a wonder. So, you are going to tell somebody a great news, and then you think, I am going to surprise you by this news, etc. And then you tell this person the news. I already know. Then actually, so something that is, there is no swarasya in it, there is no this thing. So he says that Banasura could become an adhipati of the three worlds is not at all a wonder. Why? Tvat charanayoho vari vasitari tasmin na chitram. Because he is, this word is a little usually not used word. Vari vasita means the one who actually who does puja and service tvat charanayoho, at your feet. This Banasura has been a great bhakta of you. He has done so much of worship and also he has served you and surrendered to you. So that Varivasita refers to a person who has surrendered with bhakti, etc. So, with reference to Banasura who has done so much of puja, tapas and surrendered at your feet, it is not at all a wonder. Okay. And then again, here Pushpadanta makes a general statement. So before I go to that, just a continuation of the story. Now this Banasura had a daughter. Her name was Usha. Okay. And this Usha was a great devotee of Parvati, and then she prayed to goddess Parvati for a good and beautiful husband that she wanted. Then Parvati blessed her and said, in your dream you will see one handsome man, in 1 or 2, in 2 or 3 days you will have a dream and you will see a handsome man in your dream and he will be your husband. Then who exactly it is, Parvati did not say in the dream. Okay. Therefore, that Usha actually has promised by Parvati Devi. So she sees this person in the dream and falls, without physically seeing him, she falls in love with him. Okay. Then, so she pines for him, falling in love with him. So she has a friend called Chitralekha, who was a great artist. Okay. So she sort of, she tells Chitralekha, her friend, all these things. So Chitralekha, being a great artist, from the description that was given by Usha, she draws the picture and also she draws the picture of many princes around. And finally, Usha points out when Chitralekha painted the picture of Aniruddha, who was the grandson of Lord Krishna. So Krishna had a son called Pradyumna. Pradyumna's son was Aniruddha. And when she painted the picture of Aniruddha, she said, this is the person I saw in the dream. Then when Usha identified him as the one seen in the dream and promised by Parvati, Chitralekha had some magical powers. So, so what she did is, she was able to bring, sort of lift and bring Aniruddha to Usha's quarters. So Usha was very happy. So he was staying in the quarters and they were very happy. Then Banasura discovered that Aniruddha is there in the quarters of Usha. Therefore he got angry and he imprisoned Aniruddha. Now when Krishna came to know of this, then he requests that Aniruddha should be released. But Banasura refused to do. Then naturally Krishna had no alternative but to go and wage a war against him to free Aniruddha and bring him back. But Krishna, however strongly he fought, he was not able to conquer Banasura. Then Krishna thought over and then realized Shiva is giving the protection. Shiva is giving, because he asked that he should be considered as part of Shiva's family. Therefore, Shiva is guarding one gate and Kartikeya is guarding another gate. So Krishna could not do anything at all. Then Krishna goes and then requests Shiva, and then Shiva to withdraw his protection, and then he sort of wins the war with Shiva's intervention. Aniruddha and Usha get married, Shubham. Okay. But then, now coming back to this, so now as usual, here Pushpadanta makes one statement. Tvai shirasaha avanatihi kasya unnatyena bhavati. So avanatihi means bowing down. Shirasaha avanatihi, bowing down of the head. I mean bowing down at your feet by placing the head at your feet. Tvai shirasaha avanatihi. So bowing down at your feet. Okay, such an action. Okay, kasya unnatyena bhavati. So when you go and bow down in humility to the Lord, bow down at His feet, Kasya unnatyena bhavati, again a rhetoric question. For who, for whose greatness will it not be conducive? Definitely, humbly falling at your feet will definitely be conducive for the greatness of any bhakta. Unnati means greatness. So it's always conducive for. Okay. Now the next one is going to be the story of Kshirabdhi Matana, the churning of the Milky Ocean. Okay. So you have got, in fact, this churning of the Milky Ocean is such a story so well known. I'm told, where is it, Thailand or Bangkok or somewhere, it is supposed to be in the airport itself. So, very beautiful, somebody has sent this thing, very beautifully made. Akanda Brahmanda Kshaya Chakita Deva Surakripa Videyasyasit Yastrinayana Visham Samhritavataha Sakalmashah Kante Tavana Kurutena Shriyamaho Vikaropi Shlagyo Bhuvana Bhayasa Bhanga Vyasanina Bhanga Vyasani. Okay. So during the churning of the Kshirabdhi, the Milky Ocean. So that Milky Ocean contained Amritam. Now the Devas and Asuras, for some time it will look as though it is quiet, and then again there will be a fight between them. Now, the Asuras had a guru called Shukracharya, and he had one special mantra, so the Sanjeevani Vidya. So with the help of this mantra, he was any Asura who was hurt or who died in the war between the Devas and Asuras, he was able to revive them back. So now you imagine two armies are there fighting. One army, anybody who falls down hurt or who dies immediately comes back to life. The other one, people are dying. Then becomes a problem. So then they, as usual, they seek the seek the advice of Vishnu. So it will always go in the Purana like this. They will go to Brahmaji, then Brahmaji will take them to Vishnu. And then anyway, Vishnu says, so let us churn the Milky Ocean and get the Amritam. So you will also have, when this Amritam is like a sort of a liquid, which when it is taken, is an elixir which will make one's life last long. Okay. So you also will have an advantage. Let us try to churn this Milky Ocean. But the question is, to get that ocean is so vast that it has to be churned properly to get that Amritam out. For that they need strength. They need a proper churning rod. They need a proper rope. They need also the strength on both sides, etc. So the Devas go and now try to sort of make peace with the Asuras and then request them, please come, we will share the Amritam, so please come. So you stay on one side and then pull the rope, and then we will stay on the other side and pull the rope. Like this churning we do, then we'll get the Amritam and we will share. Then they had to get a churning rod for Milky Ocean. So there was a mountain Mandara, so that became became the churning rod. And then they had to get, if the mountain is a churning rod, you need a rope as big as that. So Vasuki, a snake, was made into a rope. Now, when the Vasuki is a snake, then the Devas hit on a plan. So they know that if they hold to the head side, and then if Vasuki undergoes pain in the process of churning, she may emit, not she, it's actually he, Vasuki is a he. He emit, I said a she by mistake because in Tamil Nadu they keep a name for female. It's actually a male. So, you sometimes, there are some people who are always suspicious. So, you try to tackle them in a proper manner. For anything you say, they object. So what they did is, they said, we will hold the head side, you hold the tail side. Asura said, why? Head is superior and tail side is inferior. So we will hold the head side and you hold the tail side. That's what they wanted. So, and actually it turned this thing. So these people held the head side and then the tail side. So they go on churning. Now the rod wouldn't stay properly. So it is said that Vishnu took the form of a tortoise, a big tortoise, and went under that rod and to steady it. Okay. Now when they started churning, the first thing that came out was the poison. So hala, it is called both hala, kalakuta, the same name, leaf. So the hala, it came with so much of poisonous fumes emitting. And then it threatened to destroy the entire universe. So Devas and Asuras didn't know what to do, so they ran to Lord Shiva and begged him, please do something about it. We are not able to tolerate this poisonous fumes. We wanted Amritam, it looks like without getting Amritam, even the little life we will have, that also will go because of this thing. So Lord Shiva, it is said that with compassion, he just collected the whole Visha and he just swallowed it. Now, a little bit more to tell about that I'll come again to it. So now here he calls him He Trinayana, a three-eyed Lord. Lord Shiva is supposed to be having 3 eyes. Now, you can say two regular eyes and one is there in the forehead, okay, which is generally closed. It is opened once in a while, okay. Then sometimes, actually it is said that these 3 eyes stand for sun, moon and fire. So he is called Soma Surya Agni Lochana. Okay. Then it can also stand for the 3 pramanas. Pratyaksha pramana, Anumana pramana, which we use, and then which we use in day-to-day life, we use these 2 pramanas, and then for special things we use the Veda pramana. So the eye in the forehead stands for that Veda pramana. Okay. So so He Trinayana, Yaha Kalmashaha Tava Kante Asit. So that Kalmasha means that blemish. So specifically it says that blemish is something which is blue, black and white combined. Okay? So there is a blemish on your neck. Tava Kante Asit. There is a blemish on your neck which is blue, black color with a white background. Krishna Pandra, it is. How did this blemish come on your neck? Visham Samhritavataha Tava. So for you who took the Visham, the Kalakuta or Hala poison, for you who took it in, who swallowed this. Now why did Shiva take this poison? Why did he swallow? Akanda Brahmanda Kshaya Chakita Devasura Kripa Videyasya. On long compound. Okay. So this is the beauty of Sanskrit. You can combine Oh, you can combine so many words together into one word. Okay. So now let us go from the side. Vidheya means kripa vidheya, one who was overcome with compassion. Videya. And compassion for whom? Towards devas and asuras. Devasura kripa videyasya. One who was overcome with compassion towards the devas and asuras. And these devas and asuras, what was happening to them? They were chakita. They were trembling, frightened and trembling. And why they were frightened and trembling? Because Akanda Brahmanda Kshaya. Because Akanda, at an untimely time, Brahmanda Kshaya, it looked like the universe will perish, will get destroyed. It is not time for pralaya, but at a time when it is not proper, it looks like the whole Brahmanda is going to perish. With this idea, they were sort of frightened and trembling. So Shiva, and when they had come and requested Shiva, so Shiva, because the Kalakota Visha may really destroy the whole world, so when they came and requested him, so he took it upon himself, okay, to swallow that poison. So saha kalmashaha tava kante shriyam na kurute iti na aho. Aho means ascharya. Now there are two negatives used. Na kurute iti na. So two negatives are used. That saha kalmashaha, that blemish, tava kante, which is there on your neck, okay, the shriyam na kurute, it does not, it does not add on to beauty, but it causes a disfigurement. Iti na, that is not so. That it does not add to your beauty, that is not so. Means shriyam kurute, it adds on to your beauty. So, aho, what a wonder, what should be considered as a disfigurement? Okay, now in fact it has added on to your beauty. And then again he comes to a generalization. Vikaraha api shlagyaha. Even a blemish, even a scar, etc., is commendable. It becomes a bhushana, it becomes praiseworthy. Not for all persons, but for whom? Bhuvana, Bhaya, Bhanga, Vyasinaha. So, sorry, once again. Vyasaninaha. Okay. So, that is the person who is committed, who has undertaken the job, Vyasaninaha. For what? For Bhanga, for destroying, Bhuvana Bhaya, the fear of the world, fear of the people in the world. So, when a person gets a disfigurement because of the commitment to do good for others, then that itself becomes a beauty mark on this person. So that is what is told here. Like we have what people in the war, they say Veera Tazhumbu. So the scars that people get on their body being wounded in when they fight in the wars for the sake of the country. So as they are all not considered as disfigurement, they are considered as markers of their valor and courage and sacrifice. So like that, Shiva's sacrifice and Shiva's compassion. So this has become, it is not a disfigurement, it adds on to the beauty, adds on to the greatness of Shiva. So, and the next shloka also continues with this story, which we will see in the evening. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.